Lewis Hamilton's typical performance at the Chinese Grand Prix has become somewhat expected for Mercedes. However, this season has been a relentless series of setbacks for the 7-time world champion, who finds himself struggling with yet another disappointing outcome alongside the team that has been pivotal in his 6 consecutive titles. It's important to note that not all of these setbacks are solely Hamilton's responsibility. Mercedes is facing its own set of challenges, and Hamilton's prowess can only do so much when paired with a machine like the W15. The burning question now is how Mercedes can salvage this season, and if there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon for the Brackley-based team. Can they turn things around and find a way to defy the odds, or will they continue to face hurdles that test their mettle throughout the remainder of the championship? The 2024 season has been filled with frustration for Mercedes as they continue to struggle without a podium finish using the W15 car. The root of their issues seems to lie in correlation problems between their data and on-track performance. This was particularly evident during the Chinese Grand Prix weekend, where the team arrived with minimal expectations. Despite this, Lewis Hamilton managed to secure a podium spot during the sprint race on Saturday, marking Mercedes' best result of the year so far. However, this achievement merely masked the underlying issues that have plagued the team since the current regulations took effect in 2022. Hamilton's performance in the Shanghai sprint race highlighted the W15's strong race pace as he finished second, narrowly beaten by Max Verstappen's Red Bull. This result showcased the potential of the car, but also underscored the ongoing challenges Mercedes faces in translating their data into competitive on-track performance. The race confirmed that Mercedes performs better on long runs compared to single lap form, often resulting in lower grid positions. George Russell started the Grand Prix in 8th place on medium tyres, gaining positions by overtaking Leclerc and Sainz. He then climbed to 6th place, chasing down Norris in the McLaren. However, tyre degradation became an issue from lap 10 onwards, causing him to fall behind and eventually pit on lap 12 for a set of mediums. Following a challenging qualifying session, Lewis Hamilton began the race from 18th on the grid. Despite this setback, he and the team decided to start on the soft tyres. At the start, Hamilton faced tight racing conditions and briefly lost a position. However, he quickly made progress in the early stages of the race, overtaking local hero Joe Ganu and Kevin Magnussen. Hamilton's momentum was disrupted when he got caught in traffic, prompting an early pit stop on lap 10. This strategic move involved switching from the soft to the medium tyres. His race strategy further evolved on lap 22 due to Valtteri Bottas's retirement, which led to a virtual safety car period. Taking advantage of this, Hamilton made his second stop, switching to the hard compound tyres. Shortly after Hamilton's pit stop under the virtual safety car, the actual safety car was deployed. This timing played into the hands of George Russell as well, who used the opportunity for his second stop, opting for the hard compound tyres like Hamilton. After several incidents on the track, the safety car stayed out when the race restarted on lap 33. Lewis Hamilton seized the opportunity and overtook Ocon, moving up to 10th place. Continued his charge by passing Nico Hülkenberg and closing in on Piastri, whose McLaren likely suffered damage during the chaotic first safety car restart. In the final laps of the race, both Hamilton and Piastri managed their tyres to hold off Fernando Alonso, who was making a strong charge with fresh medium tyres after a pit stop. Despite another pit stop, Hamilton couldn't keep up with Alonso's pace, but George Russell managed to stay ahead of Alonso until the end of the race. Both George Russell and Lewis Hamilton crossed the finish line after completing 56 laps, with Russell finishing in 6th place and Hamilton in 9th. The race wasn't a standout performance, especially for Hamilton, who had an otherwise decent weekend. It was a small victory for Hamilton to see the podium, providing some consolation to Mercedes fans. Many are eagerly anticipating the new regulations era in 2026, hoping for better outcomes for the team. During the race, Hamilton expressed frustration over team radio, mentioning that his car had significant understeer in the first half, making him suspect a mechanical issue. He considered the possibility of causing damage at the start due to the unusual understeer. However, it turned out to be related to his chosen setup rather than damage. Hamilton acknowledged that better setup decisions could have placed him closer to where George Russell finished in 6th place, but emphasized the need to keep pushing and fighting despite the challenges. Mercedes, known for its adaptability and understanding of new rules, finds itself grappling with challenges as the third year of the ground effect era begins. begins, Toto Wolff has candidly admitted that they are currently in a rebuilding phase. Despite this, it's important to recognise that even their disappointing performance level is one that many teams would still aspire to achieve. In 2023, Mercedes finished second in the championship, just behind Red Bull. However, this year, their 2024 car has struggled to consistently reach the top spot or closely contend for it throughout a race weekend. This inconsistency contrasts sharply with Mercedes' usual standards, often resulting in performance fading when it matters most. Mercedes' start to the 2024 season has been notably poor. They currently hold a distant fourth place in the Constructor Championship, with just a 12-point lead over their customer team Aston Martin and trailing McLaren by a significant 44 points. Comparatively, their points total after 5 races hasn't been this low since 2011. Despite significant changes to their car, Mercedes wasn't expected to suddenly bridge the gap to Red Bull in just one off-season. However, their decline in competitiveness is a genuine disappointment. It's not just about Red Bull and Max Verstappen dominating. Mercedes now faces a tough battle just to be considered the best of the rest. Toto Wolff isn't ignoring the upcoming 2024 and 2025 racing seasons, or solely focusing on the rule changes in 2026. Instead, he's acknowledging the current situation and remains committed to competing for wins and a championship. Mercedes aims to challenge Red Bull in 2025. Despite feeling stuck in a competitive middle ground due to Red Bull's current lead. The team's goal is to surpass their immediate rivals while recognising Red Bull's strong performance as a benchmark to strive towards. The major reset in 2026 offers the best chance for other teams to challenge Red Bull. Before that, there are about 1 3/4 seasons, and there's a desire to avoid prolonged struggles in the next 18 months. The hope is for notable achievements and an upward trend in performance. This progress might involve taking some steps back initially, especially with rivals like Ferrari and McLaren performing strongly, with Ferrari notably pulling ahead of Mercedes' close competition in 2023. Aston Martin's strong Saturday performances often lead to track position advantages that they can maintain on Sundays. However, it raises questions about the quality of their chassis during their dominant period from 2024 to 2021. Back then, their powerful engine may have compensated for potential weaknesses in their chassis and aerodynamics. They likely prioritised top speed over downforce, especially on tracks where engine performance mattered less. Red Bull can challenge Mercedes this season, despite not having a clear power unit advantage. The RB20's advanced aerodynamics suit the current regulations well. Mercedes is struggling due to their misjudgment of the new regulations, possibly influenced by their previous dominance. Their decision to stick with the zero-pod concept was a major mistake and reflects poorly on their reputation. It's now solely up to them to rectify the situation. Do you believe Mercedes can recover soon? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for our next video.